He bent to give him a kiss on the forehead. Itzhak opened his eyes. "Oh, I'm sorry I woke you," Eli said, taking a seat on the edge of his bed. "I'm not sleeping so good tonight," Itzhak said, and propped himself up on an elbow. "Tomorrow is Mama's birthday, and I just keep thinking about her." Tears filled his eyes. Eli wrapped him up tight, holding him close to his chest and rubbing his hair. "I miss her too, Izzy. Do you suppose that she's all right? Somewhere? That maybe someday she'll find us here at Furienwald?" Eli's lips quivered. "Sure, I mean, you and I survived, didn't we? There were thousands and thousands of German detention camps, and they were all liberated within the past year. Mama could be anywhere in Europe. We have to keep our hopes up." "How would she know we're here in Furienwald?" "The U.S. maintains lists of people in the American DP camps." "Did you look at the lists? Is Mama on the list?" "Izzy, I have asked. I am told she's not on the lists, but our names are." "So then if she checks the lists, she'll know where we are?" "Exactly." "Where did the Germans take her?" When Itzhak steered the conversation in this direction, as he so often did, Eli was beset with a painful dilemma: how to juggle hope with reality. "With the other mothers, sweetheart." "She went with the other mothers. I don't know exactly where they took them. Sometimes I think I hear her. Sometimes when the wind blows, I can hear her voice calling me." Eli's throat tightened, and he strained to get the words out. "I can too, Izzy. Almost every day. And when we hear her voice, we know she's near." He kissed him on the top of his head. "It's time to get back to sleep. There's a football game this afternoon." "I know. And we don't have our best goalkeeper." "Eshu? Is he hurt?" "No. He moved. His family went to America." Eli looked surprised. "They've only been here a couple of months, isn't that right?" Itzhak nodded. "They got lucky. They got the visas to go to America." Eli stood. "Pretty lucky, that's for sure. Now let's get some sleep." "When will we get our visas, Papa?" "Someday soon, I hope. We've made application, and our names are on the list." "Shouldn't we wait for Mama? If we went to America without her, how would she ever find us?" Eli stood, blinked a few tears, and kissed his son again. "So many questions, my boy. We will pray, we will keep our hopes high, and we will trust that we'll all be together again." He started to walk when Itzhak grabbed his arm. "Papa, explain something to me." "What is it, Izzy?" "America's a big country, right?" "Oh, yes." "Bigger than Poland?"
"Much bigger."
"And I've seen the movies, Papa. They have mountains and deserts and large open spaces where cowboys ride their horses."
Eli chuckled.
"Oh, that's true. Where is this going?" "I would think that America has plenty of room for people like us that want to move there."
"Well, you make a good point, my son. But it's not about the room."
"Then what is it? Why can't we move there? Why do we have to stay in a camp? Why won't they give everyone at Camp Furienwald a visa? I know America likes us because we're living in an American camp. They made it for us. They bring in food and clothes. They're taking care of us. So why make it so hard to move to America where we could take care of ourselves?"
Eli looked at his son. The decade's great enigma. So formidable yet so simple that a child's logic cuts right through it.
What can I say to him? How can I explain immigration quotas to my 12-year-old boy? How do I even broach the subjects of nationalism, distrust, and prejudice?
He patted him on the head.
"I wish I had the answer, Itzhak, but it's late. Good night."
Eli sat with a cup of tea and stared out the window. The soft orange glow of dawn was rising over the Bavarian hills. What am I supposed to say to him, Esther? He has questions that I'm not able to answer. I know you would tell me that we must move on with our lives. You are always that direct, always that practical. But Itzhak and I are trying.
In 1 mile, turn right onto Crescent Park Drive.
How do we move on? He's a terrific kid who deserves more, and I'm not sure I can deliver. He asks about you, Esther. And I let him believe. I want to believe as well, but all this time, and we haven't heard a word. People say that the toughest post-war dilemma is reuniting families. We are a broken people, and the pieces are scattered all over Europe. I don't want to lose hope, but I have to be realistic. Every day that passes brings more doubt. After what Izzy's been through these past 4 years, and as far as he's come, the progress he's made, how do I dare introduce doubt and shatter his hope? He laughs, he plays with the other children, he believes in the future. And in Itzhak's future, we are all reunited. What would it do to his psyche if he lost hope? Sooner or later, everyone has to face the truth. More people died than we can count. Talk to me, Esther. Am I a good father, or am I a failure? I always look to you.
Turn right onto Crescent Park Drive.
Complete parent. I would stand to the side and watch you so effortlessly and lovingly guide our son in the right direction. How would you answer, Izzy? I'm lost without you, sweetheart.
In half a mile, take a sharp right turn onto Spruce Canyon Drive.
Eyes silhouetting the pines. Visas, he said aloud. How did the Bleachsteins get visas so quickly and we did not? We've been at Fürstenwald for almost a year. The Bleachsteins just arrived in the spring. Did they enlist the services of Maximilian? Did he sell them a way out? Chapter 18. Fürstenwald DP Camp, American Zone.
Take a sharp right turn onto Spruce Canyon Drive.
In the warmth of a mid-August morning, several workers stood waiting at the curb outside the storage building on Fürstenwald's Kentucky Street. Over the previous several days, they had gutted the building and stripped it of its interior walls.
In 1.3 miles, turn right onto Spruce Canyon Circle.
A light-duty truck pulled up to the curb, and the workers began to unload sheets of gypsum drywall and 2x4s and carry them into the building. Eli, in his role as construction superintendent, had organized the men to transform the facility into a building suitable for a TB sanitarium. At a recent committee meeting, it was reported that another 18 residents had exhibited symptoms of tuberculosis and were now in quarantine. The meeting was tense. Many had come seeking answers. What could they do to prevent their families, and especially their children, from contracting the disease in such a tightly packed community? They felt trapped. Dr. Weissman tried his best to calm their fears while remaining truthful, reminding them that TB is spread by close contact with infected persons.
In 1 mile, turn right onto Spruce Canyon Circle.
Don't know they're infected. Inhaling TB bacteria into the lungs provides an environment for the bacteria to multiply, and the disease develops rapidly. Sometimes our body's defenses, our immune systems will fight off the infection, and the person will not contract the illness. But let's face it, many of our people come here with weakened immune systems. How do I avoid breathing the air? An angry mother asked. There are 6,000 people jammed into 8 square blocks. My family's healthy. Why can't the healthy ones move to a different camp? Dr. Weissman sadly shook his head. I'm sure you can understand that other camps don't want an infectious disease transmitted into their area. Some of us may think that we're healthy, but we may be carriers. We may have what they call latent TB. What about medicines? A man asked. Are we getting the best treatments here? Dr. Weissman took a folded letter out of his pocket. I sent the message to USFET. The U.S. Forces European Theater asking for medical supplies, and they marked it urgent. I said, our confinement is a principal factor of physical disease and mental fatigue. We have nowhere to go and are at the mercy of UNRWA and the U.S. command in the American zone. We need help. I sent that 2 days ago, and I'm waiting for a reply.
As many of the residents knew, Weissman's plea was practically a restatement of the report sent to President Truman the previous summer by Earl G. Harrison, U.S. Commissioner of Immigration and Naturalization. Truman had dispatched Harrison to the American zone to evaluate and report how the needs of displaced persons were being met. Among his findings, Harrison reported, there is a marked and serious lack of medical supplies. Harrison urged the president to immediately issue immigration certificates to resettle the Jewish displaced persons. He wrote, the civilized world owes it to this handful of survivors to provide them with a home where they can again settle down and begin to live as human beings.
Turn right onto Spruce Canyon Circle.
Harrison stated, we appear to be treating the Jews as the Nazis treated them, except we do not exterminate them. Newspapers reported that Truman was shocked with Harrison's report, and in response, he issued the Truman Directive.
In half a mile, turn right onto Big Ol' Circle.
To give preference to displaced persons. However, as of 1946, the quotas remained in place, and in the year following the directive, fewer than 10,000 U.S. visas were issued, despite the requests of 250,000 displaced Jews. Britain still held tight to its pre-war Palestine quota. Thus, with the number of tuberculosis cases approaching an epidemic, there was little the Führer-involved community could do other than try to avoid exposure or hope for effective medical assistance. Eli found himself conflicted, torn between his obligations as a leader to remain in the Führer-involved community and his responsibilities as a parent to find a way out before Itzhak became ill.
Turn right onto Big Ol' Circle. Then the destination is on your right.
Chapter 19. Führer-involved DP Camp, American Zone, August 1946. Bernard asked Eli to join him at the camp administration office. He had received new information about Max and the black market visas. 2 residents were already seated when Eli arrived. Bernard made the introduction. I believe you know Chaim and David? Eli nodded.